Oh, hey Reese, what's going on today? Hi, how you going? It is, of course, me, Reese T. O'Leary of perpelFLAME and Company. That's right, PERPELFLAME. And you are joining me here for another Throwback Thursday. And it's a really cool topic, I think, today. A really interesting one, anyway. Um, we're going to throw right back to a story about the watch. And it's not just about the watch, but also about what happened with my journey with this said watch. So, before we get into it, I want to remind you all to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification, right? So you can get notified when we do post a new video. And I'm sure I'm going to get this story all in 10 minutes, but let's hope. Fingers crossed. You only got me for a short period of time, as is always. So let's get started. So, where are we? How old am I? Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure you're not getting blasted with air in the microphone. If you are, I'm sorry about that. But, okay, so years and years and years and years ago now, probably about 10, 11, 12 years ago, 13, 14. I can't give you the exact time off the top of my head, but when I was first coming into understanding my intuition, my psychic abilities, my ability to tune in, tap in, I actually also worked in call centers, and I did lots of different work actually, and this story leads back into a workplace very fond of. I'm very fond of this workplace. I wasn't at the time, but I am now, believe it or not. And at this workplace, I used to work 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. Yeah, and it was a place where at times my mum actually worked local to where I was working as well, which was quite far away from where we were living, and so she used to pick me up, but I used to have to wait for a period of time. Yeah, so before and after work, or mainly after work, I was so gung-ho about training my intuition, learning more and knowing more, that I used to offer people at work and people that I knew that I would give them a call after work and let me give you a reading, let me see what I can tune into, right? And I'll never forget this particular day. I was reading, I offered this individual called Cameron the opportunity, and he goes, yeah, call me, and I'll answer on the train and while I'm on my way home. And so I called him, and I remember doing this reading and starting to tune in for Cameron and seeing so many different aspects of what was going on in his world. And I'll be honest, I probably didn't have the same contextual understanding as I do now, because I was what I call baby Reese, right? In the terms of reading. I hadn't met my spirit guides yet. I hadn't done many things in terms of my intuition, my conscious understanding. So during the course of this reading, a couple of really cool special things happened, right? I'd already had encounters with spirits, deceased peoples. This was, I think, my second one ever. And during this reading, I remember his grandmother, this Cameron was Italian, or part Italian anyway, and I remember his grandmother coming through, his nonna, and this was the first time a spirit had ever actually offered me a cup of tea and some cakes, and it was just the funniest thing ever to me, because I was like, I can't have that, I can't take that, what are you doing, sort of thing. And I remember his nonna saying to me, you need to tell him to invite you over to his house, invite you over, there's something there that you need to see. And I remember going, oh, okay. And I went, look, this is going to sound really weird, Cameron, but she's telling me to invite you over. And he goes, yeah, because there's something that lives in my house. And I was like, oh, what do you mean there's something that lives in it? He goes, there's a dark energy or a dark spirit that lives in my house. And I went, oh, okay, all right, what does that mean? Now, immediately, I remember starting to see and envision his house or the room that he rented. And I remember saying, does it look like this? And, you've got this and that and this and that. And he goes, yes, 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 yes. And then all of a sudden, I had this vision of, see that corner up there? Very much like the corner of that, that room, this room here, very much like that. I had a vision of that. And I could just see darkness. And I went, ooh, whatever this is, it lives in the corners. And he goes, yes, it does. And it watches me. And I went, yes, it does. I'm getting chills talking about this now to this day, yeah. And I went, oh. And I'll never forget the feeling of, and mind you, I'm sitting at my workplace at like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. There's no lights. I'm waiting for my mum still. It was just me. It was their office building, so all the lights were off, everything, right? And I'm just waiting outside, and everyone's gone, and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, I started feeling my skin starting to burn. Like, burn. I was getting hot in the head, hot. Oh, I'm getting chills talking about this. This is crazy. I haven't described this in such great detail before. I've told people this story, but not like this. Anyways, I started to say to Cameron, I don't know what this is, but you need to get rid of it. 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 And he goes, when can you come over? When can you come over? And I'm like, I don't know, man. By the way, P.S. Never went over. So anyways, I start heating up and I'm going, oh, I'm getting really uncomfortable. Really uncomfortable. And he's like, yeah, this thing's evil, Reese. This thing's evil. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So all of a sudden, I remember I heard this voice come into my head. Now this is the first time I ever heard one of my spirit guides. And I heard this voice come into my head and it went, that's enough for tonight, Reese. And I went cold, right? Mind you, I was sweating. My face had gone bright red. I was burning up. And I just went cold, right? And I just said, that's it. I've got no more information for you. I can't tune into anything. I can't sense anything, right? Sorry, but whatever that was evil. Evil. I don't like it. I didn't like it. It made me feel uncomfortable and I could feel it starting to come through the phone, so to speak, right? Again, baby Reese didn't have a full understanding or grasp of what I was dealing with or etc., what I was tuning into. So Cameron was like, well, thank you for the reading, blah, blah, blah. And I remember my mum rocked up and I went, yeah, okay, gotta go, getting in the car, blah, 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 bye. So I get in the car, everything was presumably normal, right? And I remember telling my mum about this. I was like, whoa, this was like a random experience, rah, rah, rah. And I remember on the way home just thinking about it, going, what on earth was that? What was that? Wow, that was crackers. That was crazy pants for me. And anyways, my mum and I actually didn't live together, right? So she was dropping me where I lived and then going home herself. So I remember she pulls into the driveway and I say, thank you, Mum. See you tomorrow. Blah, blah, blah. And I got out of the car. I walked inside. I, do all your regulars, right? You take your bag off. I went to go and take my lanyard off. I put it down. And then I went to go and take my watch off. And as I'm taking the watch off, I look at it and I went, what the fuck? There's a picture up there for you. My watch got broken. And the watch was stopped, but it was still ticking. I'm getting chills telling you all this. The watch was ticking at 8:10 p.m., the exact time that I was doing that reading. but it was pierced through the watch face. And I had to take a photo immediately, and the rest is history, right? So that's the story of the watch and the time I met my spirit guides. The very first time I met my spirit guides. I still don't know how that happened. I still don't know what that was about. I don't have the watch anymore, but I still can't explain how that happened to the watch, because had I have smashed my wrist on something, I would know. I didn't do that. None of that happened. So be careful what you play with. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Throwback Thursday. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Catch us on the flip side.